What's up, guys? Episode number 10, Take on New York Sports. Recording this on Friday, December 18th. Thank you guys for listening. Twitter, Instagram, Take on NY Sports. I'm Anthony Heaton, your host, as always. We're going to dive right into it, and we're starting with the NHL today. Henrik Lundqvist. Sad. Very sad. I want to just read you guys what he had posted in case, you guys haven't seen it yet. But it breaks my heart, literally in parentheses, to share this news. I will not be joining the Capitals this upcoming season. After many weeks of tests and conversations with specialists around the country, it's been determined that a heart condition will prevent me from taking the ice. Together, we have decided that the risk of playing before remedying my condition is too high, so I will spend the coming months figuring out the best course of action. Then he just goes on to say, how appreciative he is of the opportunity to play in DC. He was really excited. But yeah. So Henrik Lundqvist gets bought out by the Rangers, signs the one-year deal with the Capitals, and now he's going to miss the season. Obviously, selfishly, as most Ranger fans, they are, not happy because of the condition he has. But, maybe we never get to see him play for another team. Again, selfishly, and most important is his health. That goes, without saying. But selfishly, it's, it might be nice where maybe he just rides off into the sunset. Maybe we get to sign him on a one-day contract, something like that. He could fill in, play the last couple minutes of a game for us, something. But right now, he's doing the right thing, obviously, and everybody supports him. Health is number one. Hockey is just, that's the fun. But the heart condition, that's real life. And, whether you're a Ranger fan or not, you have to respect this guy. Everything he's done and just the person he is on and off the ice. He does so much stuff with charity and he's just, it's hard to see this happen to a guy like him. You got a bunch of jerks out there, Brad Marchand, Tom Wilson. You don't ever want to see this happen to anybody because, again, they're all people. But Lundqvist is probably the last person you'd want this to happen to. And, it's I don't know the specifics of it, and I don't think he's really gotten into it. Whether it's, a fear of contracting COVID, or if it's just a straight-up heart condition that maybe the grind of another season is just too much for him. But either way, Hank, we wish you the best, speedy recovery, and you know what? If you want to play after this season and somebody wants to sign you, God bless. So that's where we kick things off. Henrik Lundqvist. Nothing new with the NHL as far as start date. Still targeting the 13th. Teams are starting to, not officially get together for training camps, but you see a lot of stuff on social media, people practicing, getting ready. And, hopefully we're just a few weeks away. There's actually talk about that all-Canadian division might have to play in the U.S., which would be kind of rough for them, I guess, because if their families live in Canada, then they're going to have to almost bubble for a 52, 56 game season away from their families. Unless, of course, they just come with them and stay. But, some final details still being worked out there. On the NBA front, we'll get to the Knicks in a second, but James Harden, wants to be traded. The Nets are one of the destinations, as well as the 76ers. The Rockets are trying to expand their trade talks, beyond just those two teams. Maybe a 3-team trade, something like that, even if Harden does wind up on one of those teams. Just gives them a little more flexibility. And they, at this point, want to trade him. It's just going to be a headache all season with the questions. And, he's a really, really, really good player. One of the top players in the league. But, it's, and I've said this before, and I'm sure you guys have heard it, but it's like pickup basketball at this point. There should be no GMs. Wherever you want to play, that's where you're going to play. You could force your way out of any situation. You could, kind of force who you want to be the coach of your team. It's all about the star players in this league. And, here's another example. Harden wants out, and, he's probably going to get his wish because the Rockets don't want to deal with it. The Knicks, New York Knickerbockers, 2-1. I know it's preseason. I know they haven't played anybody, Detroit and Cleveland, but they look like they're going to be a fun team to watch. With all the kids that they have, out there busting their asses, you like to see that hustle. And Tom Thibodeau had a really good quote that he was saying. He was just saying, learn, grow, get better every day. And that sums it up completely. You got young kids, some just starting out the NBA career, and they just got to grow, get better, and then hopefully next year, whoever's remaining as a quote-unquote, superstar, maybe Kawhi Leonard, but, someone like that, you can bring in and, put the good young talent around a superstar like that. And then you got a competitive team, You figure you make the playoffs, and then once you get in, who knows? I know right now the Eastern Conference is stacked. I mean, the Nets, Sixers, Raptors, Bucks, Celtics, Heat, of course, defending Eastern Conference champions. So it's it's going to be a tough hill for them. I know this year especially is, just about growing. Just grow and see where we are next year. Quick on the baseball, nothing really there either. Michael Wacha, former Met, obviously a former Cardinal before then, signs with the Tampa Bay Rays. Does this mean now they look even harder into trading Snell? Remains to be seen. Brian Cashman says DJ is our top priority. Believe me, we're working on it. And again, you got to see what the offers are out there for him before we outbid ourselves. He also says, and this I found very interesting, Brett Gardner and Masahiro Tanaka are on the Yankees' radar. Tanaka, it makes sense. You bring him back. Would we sign him? A 7-year contract, I think, when he first posted and we got him. And he was great. He pitched very well, some big innings for us. But Gardner, I don't know. I get the veteran presence of him. And, he's been a very good Yankee too. Always healthy. He hustles, every at-bat, every play in the field. But we have no room. Straight up. Because you got Judge in right field, hopefully healthy. You got Hicks signed for another, 5 years, 6 years? I think it was a 7-year deal, $70 million. You got him in center. And then you better have Clint Frazier in left field, unless he's part of a trade package for a big-time player. But that's the outfield you want to see. And you have Talkman still, who basically can be your fourth outfielder at this point. He could play any of the outfield positions, and that kind of leaves Gardner as a, and again, I know injuries and everything, but if we're trying to watch the payroll, even though Cashman says they plan on having the highest payroll right at that $210 million mark, to give Gardner a couple million, you just gave him the buyout, obviously. Does that really make sense? And Cashman actually also said he's gotten a lot of calls and a lot of interest on Mike Tauchman. So maybe he figures I can trade Tauchman, bring Gardner back on the cheap, and then Gardy's our fourth outfielder. Which, if that's the case, okay, a couple million, I'll bring Gardner back. Love Gardy. No complaints there. My only issue is just Clint Frazier. He's got to play. The kid's got to play every day. All right, changing gears, wrap things up with the NFL. Giants going to Cleveland. The game was flexed to Sunday night. They're probably regretting that now, with Daniel Jones now having an injury on both legs. Besides the quad, he has an ankle sprain, I think. It's not a high ankle sprain, so that's good. But we saw last week, guys, 0 rushing attempts. And without that part of his game, he's just not the same quarterback. The defense knows, hey, he's dropping back, he's going to throw. That's it. They can play their linebackers back a little deeper. They don't have to, blitz as much and try and cover the hole. So that's, and he's listed as questionable, but I don't know. I doubt he's going to play. I really do. And with the way he played last week on one leg, now he's basically on no legs. It's, you might as well start McCoy and hope for the best. Another big player missing is James Bradbury. Now, he's on the COVID list. He didn't test positive, but I believe he was around someone or a group of people, like a high-risk area, whatever it was. So he's out for this game as well. And he's been our, maybe our best defensive player. Maybe Leonard Williams, you say. Bradbury, definitely our best in the secondary. Jabril Peppers, right there as well. But he's going to be out for the game. And our wonderful offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett, he's got COVID. He actually did test positive. So the one and only, the great, the legendary Freddie Kitchens. I think he's he's our tight ends coach or something. But yeah, he's going to be doing the play calling. He's talking about a revenge game against Cleveland. You remember he was the head coach there for not very long. So that's where the Giants are, and it doesn't look good. I know Washington's playing Seattle, so you figure hopefully Seattle can trip them up. But the game's in Washington. I don't know what that means this year, but Washington's been playing better. And I believe, though, Alex Smith is not going to play. So that could be beneficial. If the Giants can steal this game somehow and Washington can lose, we're right back in first with 2 games left. And that's what we need to hope for right now. Injured quarterbacks, Drew Brees will play against the Chiefs, Sean Payton has said. So that's going to be a really exciting game to watch. Basically, 2 best teams in the league, you want to say. I know Pittsburgh's right there, even though they're kind of falling off a little bit. The Jets, I don't know. We'll jump into the picks real quick because we'll start with them. I was actually 2-1 last week again, so I'm back to 500, 6-6 overall. I lost with the Giants, as we know. I won with the Jets, the Jet game, I should say, because I took Seattle, and they were laying 13.5, and as we know, they won by 37. And I also won with the Titans. They beat up the Jaguars. So this week, we're going to go with the Jets and the Rams. The Jets are on the road. And the Rams are laying 17 points. I know the Rams have been playing a lot better lately. I know the Jets are, well, the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets this week, though. And 17 points is a big number. I know 13.5 was a big number last week, and we saw what happened with Seattle. But I think the Jets, let's say they'll keep it close. And by close, I mean 2 touchdowns. Is that too much to ask? You know? So my first pick is going to be the Jets getting 17 at the Raiders. And then Cleveland and the Giants. Giants home. Giants getting 6.5 points. I hate to do this, but I have to take Cleveland. I think Cleveland winning by a touchdown, at least, is very feasible, especially because we don't know who's quarterbacking for us. And even if it is Jones, you know, he's both of his legs beat up. So I will take the Baker Mayfield Cleveland Browns going into MetLife Stadium and beating the Giants. And the last game, I'm going to take a Saturday game because now at the end of the season, we're starting to roll those Saturday games in. I will take the Buffalo Bills in Denver, and Buffalo is getting 5 points. Denver is getting 5 points. Buffalo's legit, man. They really are. I don't care that the game's in Denver. Buffalo wins this by a touchdown. I mean, at least they should. I don't think Buffalo is going to be the team that knocks off the Chiefs, but I think they'll give them one hell of a ride come postseason. And, 5 points isn't a lot. I consider it not a lot if it's within a touchdown, when the teams are this vastly different, in my opinion, skill-wise. So, again, Jets getting 17 at the Rams, Cleveland laying 6.5 at the Giants, and Buffalo laying 5 in Denver. So those are my football picks. We will see how I do. And that's going to wrap up episode number 10, guys. Monday, the 21st. Fingers crossed. I did a test run again, and we should be good to go for the live episode. So, like I keep telling you, download Podbean, free app, make a free account, follow the show, and get ready to call in, participate, rip the Giants if they lose. Any Jet fans out there, there'll be plenty to rip, as we know. The Henrik Lundqvist fans out there, NHL fans, I know you guys probably have a lot to talk about. So yeah, Twitter, Instagram, Take On NY Sports, the website, takeonnysports.com. Follow me, subscribe to the YouTube page. And as always, guys, be well.